Continuing from the previous episode 2670. Find the latest chapter in Fighting the Sky God, Yan Emperor novel. Boom! The loud thunder sounded, and the sound of dragons and tigers roared constantly in the high sky of the endless fire domain, causing a burst of space shocks. Even some of the endless fire domain powerhouses in the state of quiet cultivation were slowly moving from the secret room at this time. Zhang raised his head and stared at everyone in the golden cloud. The fluctuations on these guys are far less powerful than the previous Btth2, but they are lined up with each other, if there is a terrifying force that shakes the world. The master of the center of the Buddha world? Feeling the terrifying thunder sound like the sound of heaven, Xiao Yan, who was in the mother-in-law's palace, couldn't help but feel a burst of doubts. The war between heaven and earth has already begun. Instead of dealing with evil races from outside the realm, this Buddhist realm has come to the endless fire realm. The people who come here are not good. Buddha, the master of the center of the Buddha world, this guy and Btth2 are brothers. However, the overall strength of the Buddhist world is not as good as ours. Why did they choose to challenge us at this juncture? Zuner raised her eyebrows, and there was some coldness in her voice, some puzzled. Xiao Yan heard the words, his eyes were slightly narrowed. The Buddha's arrival was indeed too sudden. In the endless fire realm, now just relying on the strength of the four women is enough to confront the Buddha realm head-on. In the past, the Buddha realm was always neutral, but now actively provocative. There may be some tricks in this one. Let's go out and have a look. If you really come to my endless fire territory to seek revenge for a demon, this Buddha is just a foolish generation. In addition, after this matter is over, go to the space intelligence dealer to investigate whether there is someone behind the Buddhist world who is helping to fuel the flames. I suspect it is the manipulation of those behind the scenes. After Xiao Yan finished speaking, the five people surging and disappeared together in the main mother's hall, heading towards the outside world at a high altitude. In the high sky of the endless fire territory, there is a golden cloud surging at this time, and there are nearly dozens of Buddhist powerhouses standing quietly on it. Although they do not have any flow of samsara around them, but if there is nothing, there is a horror. The sense of oppression exuded, covering the entire endless fire domain. I am compassionate. Xiao Yan is a very difficult character. Is it necessary to provoke him for a dead person? Behind the Buddha, a monk in a purple cassock spoke slowly, his words filled with awe. Sir Xian, you are also a veritable 6th-level reincarnation-level powerhouse. Are you still afraid of a mere junior? Xiao Yan has to pay a price for eradicating my people from the Buddhist world. The purple-robed monk's voice just fell, and a ferocious man with a faint surging wind and thunder on his body sneered. It seemed that the purpose of everyone's trip was for Xiao Yan. Quiet. This seat has its own set number. The Buddha sat down on the futon and began to flash a very bright golden halo, and circles of golden energy ripples dormant around him, extremely mysterious. The Buddha came from thousands of miles away, the Lord of the endless fire realm. I don't know what the Buddha is looking for from me. Suddenly, a burst of flames erupted from the headquarters of endless fire territory, and a cold voice emerged. Listening to the appearance of this voice, the strong men around the Buddha also quieted down, but they just looked at it slightly, which actually made their pupils full of fear. This Xiao Yan's strength seems to be countless times more dangerous than ordinary reincarnation-level powerhouses. Looking up, a thin figure slowly appeared in front of him, and the looming flames around him were disturbing. Facing such a powerful Xiao Yan, even the Buddha was slightly moved. The strengths of the two now belong to the same level of reincarnation. Of course, apart from Xiao Yan, none of the four mistresses in the endless fire territory today is a fuel-efficient lamp. Dare to ask Domain Master Xiao, have you seen this human a few days ago? The Buddha didn't seem to be in a hurry. Between his gestures, a slightly gloomy man's phantom appeared out of thin air in front of everyone. That's the magician. I did see it. Seeing this scene, Xiao Yan shrugged slightly, and said without any hesitation. This person has an extremely important role in our Buddhism, so I dare to ask Xiao Yuzhu, where is this person now? In the eyes of the Buddha, a smug look began to emerge, and he asked again. With the sound of the Buddha's voice, the fists of the countless powerhouses in the endless fire field below unconsciously clenched. Not long ago, a catastrophe was experienced, and now the leader of the culprit's lineage is bringing many powerhouses, like an interrogation. usually asked about Xiao Yan. The situation of the thief shouting to catch the thief made countless strong men nervous. However, the power of Buddhism is extremely mysterious, and with the power of the endless fire territory, it is difficult to judge who is stronger or weaker. The Endless Flame Alliance also has the power to defend against those who are behind the scenes and the power of foreign evil races, and the pressure is multiplied. Between heaven and earth, the eyes of countless strong men were watching Xiao Yan at the same time, but in the face of the Buddha's terrifying oppression and accountability, the latter's face was calm. After the Buddha's voice completely disappeared, the corner of Xiao Yan's mouth a faint smile just leaked out. The smile on the calm face made people feel chills in their hearts. Killed. Xiao Yan raised his head, looked at the strong man in the Buddhist realm standing above the golden clouds, and said with a smile. As soon as these words came out, the whole world suddenly became silent, and there was a feeling of crying and laughing in the hearts of the powerhouses in the endless fire domain below. Are these words too arrogant? However, the endless fire domain just after the catastrophe, no doubt needs such a shock, to shock some people with evil intentions in the world. This is the monstrous spirit of the Lord of Endless Fire Territory. Obviously, Xiao Yan's words today completely brought the situation between the two sides to the bottom, and there was no reconciliation at all. Hearing Xiao Yan's voice, the anger on the chest of the Buddhist powerhouse slowly rose, and a majestic fighting spirit emerged. This person's mind is not right, trying to collude with the evil gods of the evil race from outside the territory to destroy my Endless Flame Alliance, and he was beheaded by my Endless Flame Alliance. Both body and spirit are destroyed. After a while, a lazy smile appeared on Xiao Yan's face, and he did not show any affection for the other party. Above the golden clouds, the faces of Buddha and the others suddenly stiffened, gloomy, and a strong anger gushed out from the depths of their pupils. What an arrogant young person! Today I will let you know the power of our Buddhism. The next moment Buddha had two black shadows appearing all over his body. The majestic power of reincarnation combined with the golden scriptures shot directly at Xiao Yan's vital point and blasted away. It's just an endless fire area, and I also try to clamor with my Buddhist school. The two sneered, and the terrifying top immortal fighting skills were displayed out of thin air, and the terrifying destructive power shook the world slightly. Crack! Facing the attacks of these two people, Xiao Yan didn't even move his eyes. A pitch-black rune slowly flashed from behind him, bursting out with a monstrous devouring power, which easily entangled and engulfed the two of them. In the blink of an eye, the two Buddhist powerhouses who had reached the 5th level of reincarnation were completely obliterated by Xiao Yan's random blow. At this time, the atmosphere in the high altitude of the Endless Fire Territory froze, and the smell of gunpowder that would be completely ignited at any time filled the sky. For the convenience of reading next time, you can click on the favorite below to record this time. Chapter 2686 Self-Inflicted Humiliation. The reading record, you can see it when you open the bookshelf next time. If you like Fighting the Heavens God, Yandi, please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Opening parenthesis, closing parenthesis. Continuing from the previous episode 2671. Find the latest chapter in Fighting the Sky God, Yan Emperor novel. Seeing Xiao Yan's vigorous and resolute actions, all the powerhouses in the Endless Fire Territory were very happy. Lord Xiao Yu is really majestic. Facing Xiao Yan's actions of killing chickens and warning monkeys, the Buddha didn't seem to be surprised, and there was a gloomy look in his golden eyes. Buddha, why do you do all this useless work? I have never been afraid of any force in the Endless Flame Alliance. If you want to fight, you can do it directly. The majesty of the Endless Flame Alliance cannot be shaken by your mere Buddhist world. Even if you have more terrifying forces behind you. Xiao Yan raised his head and spoke to the angry Buddha. There was no politeness in his words. Master Xiao, there is no end to the sea of suffering, turning back is the shore. The Buddha's body began to move, and the whole body turned out to be covered with golden scriptures, which was extremely ancient to set off his body. The Buddha doesn't cross me, he can only cross himself. Xiao Yan spoke lightly, and the power in his body swelled more and more. Even if he and Buddha have the same strength, now he can smell some strange power from this guy. Attacking the Endless Fire Territory at this juncture, This Buddha must have his own credentials. If that's the case, then let the Lord enlighten your excellency. The Buddha's voice fell, and the golden power of reincarnation began to flow out of the body, quickly turning into a golden giant shrouding the Buddha's body. Countless scriptures flickered above the golden giant, muttered gloomy, and the sounds of great sadness surged, and an incomparably terrifying coercion instantly enveloped the entire endless fire domain. Isn't the Buddhist world always indifferent to the world? Why did it interfere with the Dachin world structure? The old man who looked at the gate of the palace looked puzzled and stared at the formation above the sky with a smile, and did not intend to make a move. The Buddha led the 4 bodhisattvas and some powerful venerables from Buddhism. Such a terrifying lineup shocked the minds of countless powerhouses in the endless fire realm. I am afraid that even the powerful Shaoyan and Shao Realm Master will feel the same. A bit tricky, and under the Buddha's actions, the smile on Shaoyan's face instantly solidified, and the cold and murderous intent couldn't be added. A dazzling flame of 8 colors rose slowly from the palm of his hand. Seeing this, the many powerhouses behind him frowned, and vaguely smelled a sense of unease. The 8-color flames fluttered and instantly turned into 4 giant elephants of energy, which easily filled the entire sky. The 4 giant elephants are like blue dragons and white tigers and vermilion birds Xuanwu. They are the ancient formations of 4 elephants obtained from the 4 elephants cave in the demon realm. The power of the 4 elephants? The Buddha's eyes narrowed slightly, as if he could smell a discolored force from this energy formation. The next moment, the Buddha let out a low roar, and the golden body of the Buddha behind him exploded, turning into countless golden fragments. The golden fragments floated, instantly turning the world bound by the 4 elephants formation into a golden ocean, and a mass of killing power spread out. In the golden ocean, there are countless terrifying forces that make people feel turbulent, and even the space trembles slightly. The attack of the 2 7-layered reincarnation-level powerhouses created an earth-shattering movement, which made the scalps of the humans in the endless fire field numb. If it wasn't for the endless fire field powerhouses joining forces to protect this realm, I'm afraid there is a grass here. Ichiki had already turned into dust under the attack of the 2. Reincarnation. Fighting intent. The Buddha's face was stern, his palm was gently lifted, and a golden palm with a volume exceeding 10,000 jong condensed from the ocean, shining with bright golden light. The 5 fingers on the palm ripped apart the void at an amazing speed, facing Shao. Yan suppressed it. That repressive force, apart from the ghoul seal of the corpse that had not been successfully displayed by the Lord of the Hell Realm before, was probably the strongest repressive force Xiao Yan had encountered so far. The power of the 4 beasts. In the face of such a huge blow from the Buddha, the 8-colored flames on Xiao Yan's body melted into the body of the Sifeng divine beast. With the blessing of the holy flame, the power of the 4 elephants, combined with this ancient formation of the 4 elephants, which is comparable to the 660,000 lines, the power can be learned from the world. Boom! The vast golden battle intent permeates out, among which there is no lack of the unique power of the Buddha world, the power of reincarnation, and even a very strange power, the power of faith. The golden ocean rolled out of thin air, and the tsunami appeared out of thin air, but no matter how the latter attacked, under the successive attacks of the beasts from all directions, the entire energy palm turned into thousands of light spots and fell down. What a horrible guy, seeing that such a simple blow from the 2 in front of them actually caused such a monstrous momentum. Both men and horses swelled their horse throats unconsciously. The Buddha said that all life is suffering. I don't go to hell, who goes to hell? Quote. As soon as he was shot down, it was evenly divided, but the Buddha actually folded his hands in prayer, and some mysterious and deep voices continued to emerge from his mouth. In an instant, a dark golden flame slowly rose from the Buddha's body. At the moment when the flame gushed out, the void of the whole world suddenly darkened, and even Xiao Yan's body was fused with the 8 holy flames. The flame also felt a burst of heat. 5th holy flame, Bodhi relic flame. As soon as the fire came out, the eyes of countless strong men shrank tightly. The strength of the 2 of us has long been between equals. If your excellency can take this move from me, the 5th holy flame will be offered in full. On the contrary, Lord Xiao Yu will still self-destruct, and return to Buddhism with me to accept the punishment. The great world doesn't need people with bad intentions. The Buddha's high-pitched voice poured out, the original technique of holy flame, and Xiao Zhou Tianjing chanted. The whole world suddenly turned strangely, and it was easy to pull Xiao Yan and himself into an unknown country. Even heaven and earth can't bind me, just you. No matter what happened around him, Xiao Yan's eyes were still filled with a chilling aura, and 8 colored flames rose slowly around his body, as if he was not afraid of what the Buddha would do next. Although the two have the same strength, they are very different in terms of combat power. If they compete with the power of flames, the Buddha is just taking his own humiliation. The 5th holy flame was summoned, but the Buddha did not try to use the power of holy flame as the last killer. He knew that Xiao Yan's fire attributes had already reached the limit. Dong dong dong! A burst of crisp voices slowly came from behind the Buddha, and a black flag the size of a slap was suspended in the latter's hand. The black flag was covered with a wave of vicissitudes of life, as if it had never appeared before. This world is normal. Demigod formation? This thing only exists in ancient times. How could it appear in your hands? Seeing this scene, Xiao Yan's always arrogant face couldn't help but show a dignified look. It turned out that this is the foundation of the Buddha. With Xiao Yan's soul power that is almost below the level of God, he instantly discovered the power above the black flag. It is comparable to the formation method cast by the core of 900,000 Taoist formations. It is enough to compete with anyone under the 9 reincarnation rank. It almost reaches the realm of the divine formation. The formation of the gods, that is the pinnacle of the battle formation master. For the convenience of reading next time, you can click on the favorites below to record this time. Chapter 2687, the 5th Holy Flame and the Ancient Formation. The reading record, you can see it next time you open the bookshelf. If you like Fighting the Heavens God, Yandi, please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Opening parenthesis, closing parenthesis. Continuing from the previous episode 2672. Find the latest chapter in Fighting the Sky God, Yan Emperor novel. Xiao Yan, watching the battle in full swing above the sky, the 4 goddesses looked nervous. They were not worried about Xiao Yan's strength, but the Buddha actually took out such a precious ancient thing, which made them feel a little chill in their hearts. Maintain the void of the endless fire territory. This is his battle. However, a moment later, a figure spoke up. It was obvious that Xiao Yan's prestige in the endless fire territory was unmatched. Such a formation is indeed powerful, but, looking at the strange-looking Buddha, Xiao Yan's smile froze slightly, and he pulled out the inconspicuous black ruler from behind. The giant ruler surged, and it was suddenly filled with 8 colored and extremely gorgeous flames. The looming 8 holy patterns made the entire giant ruler buzz, and a powerful attack that was enough to shake the world slowly converged on Xiao Yan. On the ruler of God. Obviously, in the face of the Buddha in such a state, Xiao Yan did not dare to take it lightly. After all, this is the headquarters of endless fire territory. To kill chickens and warn the monkeys, you always have to use some skills to overcome the heroes. What weapon is this? With the appearance of the Zushin ruler, the originally calm face of the Buddha changed dramatically. Even based on his experience, he could smell a supreme divine power that moved him. After a while, the Buddha was not hesitating, his palms surged, and he suddenly moved the formation flag. Pieces of thick black gas gushed out from the sky, completely imprisoning Xiao Yan's body and shrouded in this unknown country. But Buddha's mind, and even his soul, still smelled a wave of real fear from above the heavy ruler. He has not yet become a complete body, and there are very few people who are known in the world. This is a place for a decisive battle only for the 2 of them. 7 hardships and 1 joy, the ferryback. The vast sound of the Buddha resounded loudly, and the whole world shook violently for a while, and countless destructive forces leaned towards Xiao Yan one after another, trying to crush the latter's flesh, skin and soul completely. Even in the face of such a terrifying scene, Xiao Yan did not flinch in the slightest, the ruler of the gods surging, his eyes filled with a fierce killing intent. He suddenly raised it and waved towards the front. His strength, his confidence in Zushenki, and the blood that came from his bloodlines, made Xiao Yan not have any concerns. The space collapsed, countless forces flew out, and the whole country seemed to be silent, as if time had stopped. 1 foot and 2 monstrous attacks completely smashed and killed, but with the passage of time, this formation, which was enough to compete with the powerhouses below the 9th reincarnation rank, actually slowly shattered. Guru, impossible. Looking at the strange ruler behind Xiao Yan, after an instant, he struck out of thin air, and the destructive power in this formation that was enough to shake the gods was easily smashed away, and the Buddha's calm face suddenly burst out. Distorted, horrified. This guy's attack can actually be destroyed in one blow, enough to intercept the formation under the 9 reincarnation rank? Such power seems to have long exceeded the scope of ordinary humans. It's a pity that the Buddha didn't know. Now that the second tempering has not been completed, the Zushan ruler is only limited to the 9-fold reincarnation level. It would be a very tricky thing. Moreover, Xiao Yan was also a battle formation master himself, so he naturally knew the weaknesses of the formation. Win the king and lose the bandit. Who instructed you on this trip? After completely defeating the confidence of the Buddha, Xiao Yan raised the ruler of the gods from a height and silently interrogated the Buddha. Yes, is a nameless person. At this moment, the Buddha's expression was full of worry, and a very weak flame quietly poured out from the core of his soul realm. It seemed that all this was so illusory and extremely unreal. It's just that after the flame left the Buddha's body, the life force of this guy disappeared rapidly. Even the skin and complexion are rapidly aging, as if some vital core is missing. The smell of eternal nightmare flame? Is this guy under control? Boom! Before Xiao Yan finished his inquiry, the Buddha's body melted instantly and turned into countless fires of faith in the Buddha. Together with the supreme divine power of the 5th holy flame, a destructive aura of self-exploding came into Xiao Yan's line of sight. It seems, just when the Buddha lost to himself with the power of the formation, the moment the eternal nightmare flames poured out, the Buddha was already dead? Or maybe the Buddha has already fallen and is only controlled by this flame? But who is the master of this flame? And why did he instruct the Buddha to seek revenge? In the scene before and after this, the Buddha and the power of the formation were like being tested. The 5th holy flame of the latter seemed to be rewarding Xiao Yan, and everything was extremely mysterious. Countless thoughts swept through his mind, but unfortunately Xiao Yan didn't have time to think about it. The holy flame and Fenju in his body worked together, directly killing the Buddha. After all, the power of the Buddha and the detonation of the 5th holy flame were too powerful. Horror, if it falls and explodes at will, the endless fire area will inevitably be affected. Boom! The terrifying power has always stayed in the unknown country high in the sky, but unfortunately these powers did not spread a little bit, and were swallowed by Xiao Yan without a trace. After the fall of the Buddha, his holy flame was absorbed by Xiao Yan, so the entire sky of the endless fire territory once again burst into waves of mysterious destruction. Xiao Yan also took advantage of this great opportunity to retreat directly in the high altitude of the endless fire territory, absorbing his own first 9 holy flames. The 5th-ranked Bodhi relic flame. The battle between the 2 supreme powers in the latitude of the sky has just ended, and many Buddhist powerhouses standing in the golden clouds below are afraid, and there is a thick horror in their eyes, and they fled everywhere in an instant. But what is the area of the endless fire territory now? No one of the many powerhouses who followed the Buddha was spared, and all of them were killed by the endless fire territory powerhouses, but the powerhouses who belonged to the endless fire territory did not discover that these Buddhist sects in the body of the strong, there is also a faint power of eternal nightmare flame. That kind of flame power seems to control them just as Xiao Yan guessed. In an instant, the attack on the endless fire territory by the powerhouses of the Buddha world was completely over, but once the matter spread, the entire Great Thousand world was in turmoil. Without the existence of powerful people such as Buddha, the position of the Lord of the Buddha realm may be transferred to the deputy realm Lord Shishin Tathagata. The current pattern of the entire Buddha realm should be controlled by Manjushri Bodhisattva, Lian Dharma King and other powerhouses. For a time, the connection of the Endless Flame Alliance became more and more close. Except for the Thunder Lord, the Demon Emperor and other superpowers who were not restrained, all the powerhouses belonging to the Endless Flame Alliance had formulated extremely perfect reward and punishment measures. Endless Flame, the Alliance, a new force, can be considered to have a firm foothold in the Great Thousand world. Countless human residents in the endless fire area looked at the blurry clouds above the sky where Xiao Yan was sitting cross-legged. A burst of pride was born spontaneously. This is the true spirit of the endless fire territory. If people don't offend me, I won't offend others. If anyone offends me, they will be destroyed in both form and spirit. For the convenience of reading next time, you can click on the favorite below to record this. Chapter 2688 Nonsense Farce. The reading record, you can see it next time you open the bookshelf. If you like Fighting the Heavens God, Yandy, please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Opening parenthesis, closing parenthesis. Continuing from the previous episode 2673. Find the latest chapter in Fighting the Sky God, Yan Emperor novel. With the end of the revenge in the Buddhist world, Xiao Yan's devouring will take at least a few months. For several months, the high altitude of the endless fire territory has been in a state of high alert. Countless powerhouses do not understand what the mystery is, just hearsay. It seems that the Lord of Xiao Yan, who sees the dragon but does not see the end, is retreating in the void. During this period, all the medicinal pills refined by Xiao Yan were delivered to the powerhouses of the Endless Flame Alliance. The demon world was naturally delivered by Kalen himself. After all, these medicinal pills were very important, and the mistresses had to do it by themselves. The void changed. When Kalen stepped into the center of the demon world again, there were pieces of extremely pure white light flickering here, and a very ancient and powerful aura seemed to completely fill the center of the entire demon world. Problem occurs? A dignified color flashed in Kalen's eyes, and his body surging, swept directly towards the temple where the World Master and others lived. Xueni, Demon Emperor, let's capture it. In such a big demon world, now only 2 of you are the strongest who can barely compete with us. If you lose, we will *** wash the entire demon world. At this time, a team composed entirely of beautiful women slowly floated outside the void of the temple, looking at the high-level center of the demon world in front of them. The silent murderous intent in their words became stronger and stronger. These ghostly guys. The 9-tailed demon fox's eyes were full of anger, but to no avail. Rescue has been sent to the headquarters of the Endless Flame Alliance. It is estimated that behind the demon emperor, a graceful woman gnashed her teeth. Withdraw the signal, you can't send it. The 2 9-winged blazing angels, plus the digital 6-winged and 7-winged wise angels, even if the Endless Flame Alliance is involved, it is difficult to shake the situation. Their goal is us. Later, I will trouble the World Master to hide the void with the Demon World Powerhouse. In the majestic eyes of the Demon Emperor, there was a fearless dominance. Today's Demon Emperor's strength has almost reached the terrifying level of half-step and 8-fold, but even with the 8-fold reincarnation strength of the Demon World Lord Xueni, he can't deal with the 2 9-winged seraphs. God, I'll be with you. Behind the elegant figure, there are also 6 purple wings slowly surging. The lover of the Demon Emperor, Lu Yun, after the Demon Emperor hunted down the digital wise angels, the source of the angels obtained was all injected into Lu Yun's body, which made the latter's strength reach the 5th reincarnation level. Angels are also enough to pose no small threat. No more. The demon world. Everything will be prosperous, and every loss will be lost. There has never been anyone in my demon world who is greedy for life and fears death. Facing the voice of the Demon Emperor, Zhan Yi smiled casually, and the deafening anger of heaven and earth filled the air. Understood. Then let's fall here together. Meg, help me, and turn this place into ruins. Seeing such tenacious resistance from the powerhouses in the center of the demon world in front of him, a frantic smile appeared on Sorrel's pretty face. The Demon Emperor thinks that he has stepped into the path of gods, so he has no taboos. He was wrong. He shouldn't provoke the kingdom of angels, let alone their slaughtering angels. Throughout the ages, they have provoked them, and no one has ever survived. They are the rules of the world. Boom! Sung by the 2 9-winged seraphs, the divine power of the digital wise angels easily covered the entire sky, with an indescribable terrifying pressure, like a king of angels coming from a distance, extremely bright. Angel. Beyond forbidden technique, demigod technique? At this moment, Xueni, the Demon Emperor, Lu Yun, the 9-tailed demon fox and other strong men were moved with expressions on their faces. Humble ants, hibernate under the punishment of light forever and ever. Demigod, ripples of light, holy inquisition. The high-pitched angelic holy voice swept from the sky, and a pure dawn light enough to penetrate the center of the entire demon world, imprisoned and shrouded every inch of space here. 10 colors. Swallow the power of heaven. At the same time, a savage figure descended from the sky, with a vicious multicolored snake shadow crawling all over its body, and suddenly hit the ripples of light, and the violent energy fluctuations scattered. Just then the Demon Emperor and others were temporarily rescued. Color scales? Seeing Kalen's sudden arrival, everyone's heart warmed. However, with the current Kalen's power, they were still unable to fully cope with the attack they faced. After all, the latter had only reached the 7th stage after realizing the power of 10 colors. Second rate. 2 seniors, this is the 9th grade medicinal pill refined by Xiao Yuzhu, which is enough for the 2 of you to step into the real 8th level and 8th level peak. While speaking, Kai Lin raised her hand gently, and 2 precious medicinal pills that were enough to stir the entire world were delivered to the 2 of them. Xiao Yan, this guy has a heart. But if we break through it this time, I'm afraid it will take a lot of time. Xueni and the Demon Emperor shook their heads at the same time. Obviously the situation was extremely dangerous now. 2 seniors, let's get started. I have the power of a colorful swallowing python, and this piece of heaven and earth should be guarded by me. Okay. The voice fell, and the 2 devoured the medicinal pill directly, and a thick layer of energy conjunctiva wrapped their body, and the terrifying reincarnation pressure spread out little by little. Now, trouble. Without the presence of the 2 8-layer reincarnation level powerhouses, everyone felt a chill in their hearts, and a wave of death-like fluctuations emerged. The 10-colored sky-swallowing python is an ancient alien beast. If it hadn't been annihilated and besieged, how could the center of the demon world be afraid of the mere 9-winged blazing angel? Around Kalen, the faint holy flame was gently swallowed by the 10-color snake spirit, and 10-color rays of light began to appear in the snake spirit's eyes, and an extraordinary divine power that was enough to swallow the sky and devour the earth was emerging little by little. It's ridiculous. How can the power of mortals compete with heaven and earth? Our kingdom of angels is the heaven of thousands of worlds. Suffer to death. Seeing the eyes of Kalen and the strong men behind them burst into red, the demigods in the hands of Cyril and Meg finally finished singing. Immediately, countless ripples of light suddenly spread from the void and spread out. And in the center of the ripples of light, there is actually a holy sword of light, spanning the center of the entire demon world, slowly rotating. It is carrying a touch of supernatural power that no one can understand, and it falls instantly. The divine power of heaven and earth fell with one blow. I am afraid that even if the 2 demon emperors join forces to deal with it, they will be seriously injured in an instant. 10-color swallowing power. Eyes of the demon fox. Quote. Countless attacks poured into the holy sword of light trying to resist and destroy, but no matter how fierce the offensive broke out from these powerhouses, it was useless for a while. Kai Lin felt that the power in her body was not enough, but just when she wanted to use more powerful power, a strange rays of light flew out from the latter. A huge mouth, completely swallowed. Countless people were full of astonishment, and when they looked up, they saw a young man scratching his head. His handsome face narrowed into a line, and then burst into the direction of the color scale. In his body the power contained in it is floating. But they can clearly feel that the power in this guy's body is not comparable to the 7th, or even the 8th, reincarnation. For the convenience of reading next time, you can click the favorite below to record this time. Chapter 2689, The Vision of the Demon Realm. The reading record, you can see it when you open the bookshelf next time. If you like Fighting the Heavens God, Yandy, please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Opening parenthesis, closing parenthesis. Continuing from the previous episode 2674. Find the latest chapter in Fighting the Sky God, Yan Emperor novel. Hey, hello, sister-in-law. Under such a tense situation, this man actually stood quietly in front of Kalen with a naive smile on his face. You are. Kalen's eyes narrowed slightly, and she looked at the guy in front of her vigilantly. Since he appeared, the 10-color snake spirit on his body erupted with an extremely huge movement. It seems that the aura of power in the guy in front of him resonated very similar to the 10-color swallowing python. Sister-in-law, have you forgotten? I was the fire beast in the body of Big Brother Xiao Yan back then. By the way, people in this world seem to like to call me the King of Beasts. The handsome man continued to smile and hurriedly explained to Kalen, but this guy's aura was floating, sometimes strong and sometimes weak. I see, but the current situation. Kai Lin was relieved, but her eyes were still full of solemnity. Sister-in-law, let me come. The king of all beasts sneered, the smile on his face solidified instantly, and the two colorful horns on his forehead flashed a touch of power that surpassed this world, appearing out of thin air among the crowd and angels, behind the body, as if the shadow of all beasts roared. Between that surge of power, countless monsters in the center of the entire demon world trembled uncontrollably, as if trying to kneel and crawl. The King of Beasts? Looking at this scene, a look of astonishment suddenly appeared in the eyes of the two blazing angels, and even the angel wings behind them could not help but tremble. Even if the strength of the two of them is at the 8th-fold reincarnation level, and they have the name of the 9-winged blazing angel, in front of this man who calls himself the King of Beasts, their strength is like the dust of ants, and they can't make any waves at all. Guru. 9-fold? Seer's eyes shrank suddenly, and the 6 gods stood there without a master. He originally thought that he was promoted to this point by virtue of the illustrious achievements of the 4th evil god, and it was enough to thoroughly judge the demon emperor and others. But when facing the King of Beasts, a force was not enough to fuse from the depths of the soul. It seems that the enemy they are facing now is no longer a human being, but an extraordinary divine power walking between heaven and earth. That kind of power seems to only appear in the killing angel. How can the demon world have such a strong person now? Boom! As the King of Beasts raised his hands, the shadow of the beasts ran and called, and his entire body turned into a behemoth, blasting away at many angels. In the face of such power, any struggle or resistance seems vulnerable. That is the absolute crushing of power. His strength. Looking at the terrifying technique of the King of all beasts, the strong men below looked at each other in dismay, and couldn't help taking a deep breath. Sister-in-law, my strength has not yet recovered to its peak, because those inheritances have not been completely absorbed, so I have to continue to go back to retreat. When I get out of the customs, I will find you. Hey, the grinning voice just fell, and the entire center of the demon world returned to calm. It's just that the 2 9-winged seraphs and other wise angels in front of them seem to be destroyed between the King of Beasts and their bodies. With the existence of these angelic powers, the next time the King of Beasts reappears, I am afraid that the strength will step into the real 9th level. At that time, a battle at the center of the human world seems to be indispensable. After all, the now declining demon world is to a large extent the joint suppression of the human world center and other forces. The demon world returned to calm, and Kalen also returned to the endless fire domain, but this kind of thing was really shocking. Heavenly Land. The 4th town demon prison exists in a certain void in the sky. Although the 4th town demon prison is extremely dangerous, Yueru and the others still destroyed the 4th town demon prison, killing the only legendary Chang'e. Your Majesty is rescued. With the delivery of Yun Yun's medicinal herbs, I also saw this big man who only existed in legends, and some things about Yao Ji were slowly brought back from Yun Yun to the endless fire. The land of the Buddha. Outside the 3rd demon suppression prison, countless demonic energies from the heavens and the earth soared up. At this time, all the strong Buddhists were beheaded by them. Buddha, this idiot, is actually stupid to provoke the endless fire territory. After the evil asterisk witch, let's go, start our revenge plan. The Great Thousand World, the center of the human world, sooner or later will be destroyed by the feet of our territory. A voice bathed in a blood-colored shawl came out, and the entire demon suppression prison boiled. Buddha world, sooner or later, I will destroy you. Go, Susu. The Buddha realm is stationed here. At this time, Shishin Tathagata, Manjushri Bodhisattva and a group of strong people gathered here. Obviously, there are many doubts about the fall of the Buddha. Jizu, from the Buddha's retreat, I found a trace of milky white fire. There are people surging in the Golden Temple. Other places of retreat for those who accompany them also have such fluctuations. Manjushri Bodhisattva and his mounts squinted slightly, puzzled. The World Lord. The big thing is bad. The demon suppression prison was attacked by a strong foreigner, collapsed, and the evil asterisk who suppressed it has escaped from the Buddha world. Amitabha, has the catastrophe of this world reached such a critical moment? There are many powerful people in the world outside the territory, and they secretly sneak into it, trying to investigate the whereabouts of the leader outside the territory, so that the world leader and other Zeon will fight for the final battle. This is a pure snow-covered world, and at this time, nearly dozens of elites are moving forward cautiously. Snow White, there is no trace of evil in the world. What is going on here? The palace lord of Dachiangong frowned, and a sense of unease came out. The location and whereabouts of the leader of the extraterritorial world, but the Dachiangong probed out in the void of heaven and mystery. Their purpose is to confirm. Once confirmed, they will extradite the powerful people such as the human world realm master by space means. As long as the leader outside the territory is obliterated, this Second World War will also be defeated without a fight. Dachiangong, desolate ancient heavenly palace, human world center. That guy Tian Yuanzi has also become more cautious. In the snow-white world, a touch of elegant bass suddenly came out, and a glamorous woman bathed in white ice and snow walked slowly. There were countless ice and snow flying all over her body, and it was obvious that no power fluctuations appeared, but it made the 6-layer or even 7-layer reincarnation-level powerhouses in a trance. Even in this world of ice and snow, there are indistinctly countless strange figures slowly emerging. 17 saints, 36 royals. This is a conspiracy. Go! The deafening low roar swept out, and the eyes of the palace master of the Dachiangong suddenly shrank, and a fear from the depths of the soul swept out. Since you're here, why should you leave in such a hurry? Just let you all feel what this cold and humid outside world is like. Immediately, incomparably dark shadows erupted from the world of ice and snow, and a steady stream of attacks were displayed. The strength of these guys is on par with the 7 evil gods. Obviously, the so-called 17 holy clans and 36 royal clans are the real power of the foreign evil clan, the foundation of being able to compete with the great 1,000 worlds. For the convenience of reading next time, you can click on the favorite below to record this time. Chapter 2690 Disaster, Conspiracy. The reading record, you can see it next time you open the bookshelf. If you like Fighting the Heavens God, Yandy, please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Opening parenthesis, closing parenthesis.